McDonald's didn't scale with better burgers, they scaled with better systems. And your agency can do the exact same things. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the best practices of one of the largest companies on the planet, McDonald's, and how these principles can be the foundation for you scaling faster than ever before. What's up, guys? I'm Ben Gerster. I scaled my digital marketing agency to over $400,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue in just under 3.5 years. And now I'm on a quest to help other agency founders do exactly the same thing. We're going to dive in this video to learn a little bit about the history of McDonald's and some of the core principles that has allowed this company to grow so fast, and how these same principles can be applied to any business type. Most importantly, they can be applied to your agency. These are the same ideas that I used within my agency to help us scale at the rapid pace that we did, going from $0 to over $400,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue. So let's dive in and learn a little bit more about what McDonald's did. Now, first of all, you may have seen the movie The Founder, the story of Ray Kroc finding McDonald's, meeting the McDonald's brothers, and actually learning about their business. And what you might remember from that movie is in the scene where he first orders a burger from the first McDonald's, and the burger comes to him faster than he can even imagine. He's paid and the burger is already coming out. And he was actually surprised. He said, "No, I don't think that's my order. I just paid." And they said, "No, this is your order." And he watched as he marveled over the system they were using. What was so unique was how the McDonald's brothers had designed a system for making their burgers faster and with a standard of quality than any other restaurant at that time. And they called that system the Speedy Service System, where they had painstakingly obsessed about the layout of the kitchen, about the step-by-step process, the assembly line for making a burger, how each person had their own role, and how they would apply each of the ingredients to that burger so that the speed of producing it was superior to any competitor. But also the quality and the repetition, the standard of that quality was replicatable. Every single time we got the same solution. And today we still see that type of standard and that process deployed across all McDonald's worldwide. We expect the same exact outcome when we order a Big Mac from McDonald's. So let's look at this and dive into some of these principles and how they tell the story of productization and building systems to create efficiencies, scalability, and profitability in a business. So diving in, let's start with the idea of why you should be productizing your agency. And there are 3 major points to why you should be productizing your agency. Number 1, stop reinventing the wheel with every client. This creates an efficiency if we can produce a similar solution for every single client. Number 2, we increase profitability and reduce chaos. Imagine the McDonald's kitchen if they would accept custom orders, or if they were reinventing the wheel. They would lose all of the efficiency, they would be creating chaos, and they would lose profitability. And number 3, we build a business that runs without you as the founder, a system-based business rather than a talent-based business that's relying on your unique talents as the founder. All right, so productization equals scalability. And let's start with just understanding what is productization. Productization is turning your service into a repeatable, systemized offer that's easy to sell, deliver, and scale. And as we can see, custom work equals chaos. We don't have defined roles. We don't have a defined process. We don't have a clear order to how we are producing that particular solution. On the left, we can see what a chaotic kitchen looks like. On the right, we can see the McDonald's kitchen as it was portrayed in the movie The Founder. Productized service equals scalable systems. So we can see there's an order to the work. Everybody has a station. Everybody has a step of the process. All right, so McDonald's lesson number 1 is that clarity wins. This is about having fixed scope, a fixed timeline, and fixed pricing. So example of this is the Big Mac meal. You know exactly what you're getting. You know exactly how long it's going to take, and you know exactly what it's going to cost. So the clarity up front helps us make that buying decision rapidly, quickly, and easily. For an agency, the big takeaway here is that we can give our clients that same clarity in our agency offers. If we've produced a productized solution, that means we do have a fixed scope, a fixed timeline, and we have fixed pricing. And we can explain all of this clearly on our initial discussions, discovery calls with a particular prospect to help qualify them faster, to help them make a faster decision on working with our agency, and to really demonstrate what they can expect from a time-based solution. All right, moving on to the next lesson. McDonald's lesson number 2 is an assembly line thinking. So this is really about turning chaos into a repeatable machine. So McDonald's, their kitchen layout was thought through. Actually, which stations were doing what parts of the process. Every worker has one job. And so this is one of the things that we see often in agencies, that we have one person that's extremely overloaded, doing too many different things, trying to be a master of too many different disciplines. Because we're accepting so much complexity into the business, we expect too much of each individual role. This leads to overwhelm, this leads to the dreaded agency life, and this leads to a really difficult situation where we can't replace that talent very easily. If that person leaves, we're looking for somebody to come in that has very diverse skill sets, and that's hard to find in somebody. So the agency takeaway here is if we have a productized service, we can be very specific about the roles and the responsibilities for delivering each step of the process that we are serving our client with. This is a really important part of streamlining our organization charts and setting up a structure of capacity management for our teams. All right, the third point on McDonald's lessons is no custom orders. So we need to ditch the custom projects that are killing our margins. McDonald's examples is there's really no menu hacks at McDonald's, and that's why their system works. They have a process for every single item that's on that menu, and they have established efficiencies around every item on the menu. This is really important. You can't order a filet mignon from McDonald's, and if you did, can you imagine how difficult it would be for them to deliver that type of quality or that standard? So it's the same thing as our agency saying yes to some higher complexity project that isn't part of our productized solution. It kills all of our efficiencies, and it is what drives chaos in the business. So the agency takeaway here is custom work. This is what makes us slow. This is what makes our growth slow. It makes us more expensive. And most importantly, it makes us founder dependent. Because if there isn't a system for what we're delivering to a client, that means the founder has to come in and deliver that service, establish that system, and actually make sure that we can follow through for our customer. Let's look at McDonald's lesson number 4, authority through repetition. So productization is about getting perceived expertise in what it is that we are doing. And we look at McDonald's and we think about the golden arches, what they resemble. They resemble a consistency, a certain standard that we've all come to know and respect. We have clear expectations when we see a McDonald's on the street, exactly what we're going to get. If we go to that food establishment and order French fries, order a burger, we know exactly what it's going to be. And so this is really setting a standard of consistency that our customers can rely on. This also helps them refer new clients to us because they already know exactly how we're going to serve that new customer, and they have confidence in what we're going to be able to deliver to them because we've proven it through our repetition, through our repeatable processes that we can deliver that same quality standard over and over and over again. So the agency takeaway here is that repetition is what's going to build our mastery of a given service or solution in the marketplace. Mastery is going to build trust with our customers, and trust is going to start to close more clients for our agency. All right, now lesson number 5 from McDonald's is to scale without the founder. And this is so important if you're truly going to grow a large agency. Your system becomes the star, not you. Most small agencies, the founder is the rock star. The founder can't separate themselves from client relationship management. Every client wants the founder involved in their project. And this is not only an extremely limiting factor for scaling the agency if you, the founder, need to be involved in absolutely every client engagement, but it's also a massive risk and it's a negative when you look at potentially selling your agency. One of the number one factors when you go to sell your agency that's going to be evaluated is, can this business be successful without the founder in it? And if the answer is no, and everything is still founder led and founder dependent, then you will find yourself with a lower valuation on your agency. And you'll also find yourself stuck in a multi-year earnout situation just to be able to get the value of the business through the exit process, which is something we definitely want to avoid. Plus, it just makes the process of running our business that much more enjoyable if we're not constantly called to put out fires and to impress our clients. If we can build a system that actually runs and our team can deliver that system to our clients, we actually get to focus on the best parts of running a company: leadership, sales, and marketing. That is ultimately where our time should be spent. It is the biggest leverage we have in growing our businesses. So we want our system to become the star, not the founder. McDonald's example, they had a clear franchise map where Ray Kroc was going to roll out this concept and scale it rapidly. And he was scaling the system. He was not scaling his personal presence or the charisma of the founder of this business. He knew that the system would be what would allow them to scale quickly. The agency takeaway here is systemized delivery equals your team running the show. And if your team is running on the show, you get to focus on growth. So to wrap this up, let's summarize why productization changes the game. Number one, we have predictable pricing, we have predictable processes, and predictable outcomes that we can be mapping towards. Number two, we have simplified team training and hiring. Number three, we have higher margins and faster delivery. Number four, stronger positioning in the market. And number five, which we're all hoping for, founder freedom through systems. I love this example of McDonald's. I love the fact that something as simplistic as a fast food restaurant we can look at, we can learn from, and we can apply some of these best practices directly within our businesses. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of productization and systematizing the agency. You will never see faster growth if you take this path. So if you found this video helpful or educational, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Every week I drop a new video that helps agency founders build smarter, scalable businesses and improving their lifestyles. Stay sharp, stay hungry, and keep evolving.